Hello everyone, my name is Carol Orozco and I'm an MBA candidate at University Canada West. For my operations management class, I'm going to explain my second case study of the convocation ceremony at the Trident Institute of Management and Entrepreneurial Studies, better known as TIMES. In this case study, the details of the convocation of the TIMES graduation in 2022 were disclosed. In this convocation, they were going to have a chief guest who would address the graduates and their guests and call the names of the graduates to deliver the diplomas. In the class of 2022, had several programs such as the PGDM, the Postgraduation Diploma in Management, the MBA, the Master of Business Administration, that together had 215 graduates registered to attend the convocation. Another program was the MCA, the Master in Computer Applications. This program had 81 students registered to attend the convocation. The third program was the BBA, Bachelor in Business Administration, with 154 graduates. And then the BCA, the Bachelor in Computer Applications, with 87 students registered to attend the convocation. Due to unexpected events, the chief guest had to leave earlier than expected. The school had to manage this situation by adjusting their logistics to complete the distribution of diplomas among the graduates before the chief guest has to depart. If the guest had left in the middle of the ceremony, it could have reflected poorly on the school and led to dissatisfaction amongst the parents. The convocation protocol had several steps, such as the registration, the convocation procession, the lamp lighting, amongst other steps of the convocation protocol. For this analysis, and according to the case study, the school had planned that the three parts of the convocation protocol, which include the gold medal to the best outgoing graduate of the batch, and the presentation of the medals to the top performers in each program, and the distribution of degrees and certificate diplomas should last 70 minutes. The main objective of the analysis is to assess the feasibility of completing the ceremony before the chief guest had to leave. For this analysis, concepts such as task time, circle time, flow rate, and processing capacity were examined to understand the operational requirements of the ceremony. The analysis showed that the planned 65 minutes for the distribution of the diplomas would be not sufficient. Several recommendations were proposed to address this issue, including speeding up the diploma delivery process, suggesting a new approach to achieve the tag time, and improving the cycle time management. The first concept is tag time. Tag time represents the maximum amount of time you can spend of each unit of production to complete the process within the total available time. In this example, the tag time is the goal amount of time in which each student must be called, walk through the stage, receive their diploma, shake hands with the dignitaries, pose for the photo, and leave. Out of the 70 minutes planned for these three steps, the first step, in which the most outgoing graduate of the batch is going to be awarded with a gold medal, is going to take 2 minutes. Then the second step, which is awarding the medal-winning students, is going to take 3 minutes. The school is going to award the students with gold, silver, and bronze medals for the top 3 students in each program. This gives us a total of 12 students who need to get their diplomas and leave the stage in 180 seconds. This gives us the tag time of 15 seconds per student. This is the goal amount of seconds that the students must take so the ceremony can be finished as planned. After these 5 minutes are taken out of the 70 minutes of total time, the available time for the distribution of the certificates and degrees of the recipient students is going to be 65 minutes. The total number of students left to receive their degrees is going to be 519 after taking the 13 students that already got their diplomas. This means that the tag time for the distribution of the certificates and degrees is going to be 7.5 seconds per student. Now for the cycle time, which is the time that it takes each student to go through all steps in the process, including being called by name, walking across the stage, receiving their diploma, or the diploma and the medal, shaking hands with the dignitaries, posing for the photo, and then leaving the stage. The case study provided the information that the medal awarded students take 10 seconds to go through this process, and then another 5 seconds to exit the stage, giving a total of 15 seconds to receive their diplomas. This is the time cycle per student. Then, the students who are going to receive a certificate or a degree diploma, but are not going to receive a medal, it's going to take them 7.5 seconds to go through the process, and then 4 seconds for the last step, that is leaving the stage, giving this a total amount of 11.5 seconds to complete the whole process. This is the time cycle per student. Now that we know the cycle time, we need to calculate the total cycle time for the whole process. For the medal awarded students, the process takes 3 minutes, but for the certificate and degree diploma students, the cycle times take 11.5, which give us a total of 99.5 minutes per cycle. That's the actual number of minutes it's going to take all the students to go through the process. The next key concept is the process capacity, which tells us how many products a process can create in the available time. In this example, it tells us how many students will be able to receive their diploma before the 65-minute mark is over. To calculate the process capacity, we divide the total available time by the cycle time per student. This gives us a total of 339 students. This indicates that the 65 minutes plan won't be sufficient for the delivery of all the diplomas. Now that we know that the time won't be sufficient, we need to figure out which part of the process is delaying the plan. For that, we're going to compare the flow rate with the takt time. The flow rate, which is calculated by the number of students divided by the total amount of time, tells us how often a student is able to receive their diploma in each part of the process. First, we're going to be comparing the medal awarded students' flow rate with the takt time, and we find out that both processes take a total amount of 15 seconds per student. So this part of the process is not the one that is delaying the process, the total amount of time. So when we compare the flow rate of the takt time and the flow rate of the certificate and the degree recipients, we're going to see that the difference is that the takt time, the goal, is to take 7.5 seconds, and the actual amount of time it takes them is 11.5 seconds. This is why our process lasts longer than planned. Now, the recommendation to be able to reach the takt time is that for the students who are going to be recipients of the certificate or degree diploma, after the first student is posing for the photo and is about to leave the stage, the next student must be called. Since the time it takes for students to be called by name, walk across the stage, receive their diploma, shake hands with the dignitary, and pose for the photo is longer than the time it takes to exit the stage, which is 4 seconds, they won't collide, but be slightly overlapping student after student. With this minimum change in the process, we can achieve the takt time and carry out the convocation ceremony within the expected 70-minute range. However, the room for error is very small. It's about 3 seconds for each of the 619 students who will go through the process. If more than 3 seconds in delay comes, most likely the students are going to collide, and that can look very informal in the ceremony. These recommendations should be accompanied by giving the students instructions prior to the ceremony so they know to keep their right hand free for the handshake, and they should receive their diplomas with the left and understand which way they should pose to reduce the risk of mistakes. Along with these suggestions, establishing a control station with a designated person to double-check the order of students in queue can prevent errors in name calling that could delay the process and give poor impression on the school logistics. Another aspect that they should consider is that the attendance of the convocation is not mandatory. In this case study, it suggests that between 80 and 90% of the graduates attend the convocation. They should ensure that they know how many students are going to receive their diplomas so they can make the proper calculations for the ceremony and won't call the name of someone that is not present. This will prevent them from rushing and then having the extra time at the end. The students who are graduating deserve as much time on stage as possible. After working so hard for so many moments, 7.5 seconds seems very short to celebrate their accomplishment. Another suggestion would be to divide the ceremony, holding it for 2 programs in one day and then for 3 programs in another day. This way, we can ensure that the ceremony includes more meaningful speeches from the dignitaries and the spokespeople that are going to address the students, and ensure they have as much time as possible to celebrate their graduation. However, the main recommendation that would be less time consuming for the school would be to change their chief guest to someone who has enough time to go through the process. Graduations can have unexpected circumstances, such as microphone failure for a minute or the director's speech running a little longer, that could severely affect the planned time management. There is no room for error in this plan, and that is unrealistic. Thank you very much for watching.